What's going on, YouTube? We're back once again with yet another video. See, we're staying consistent. But in this video, we're going to be talking about how marriage will cost you.
It's gonna cost you something. You want it?
Not just
you
something.
gotta give something.
Yep, get to receive. Marriage is based off of the principle of reaping and sowing. So whatever you do not sow, you shall not reap.
Yeah, a lot of people want the glitz and glamour of marriage, and they don't take into account what is actually going to cost them. You sacrifice every single day.
And as we've came together and as we've been growing in our covenant under Christ, just really learning how to love each other, and not the way the world dictates it, but how Christ does. And it's taken a lot of dying to self. Especially for me on my end, it's been a matter of learning that being a leader is not a part-time job, but it's a full-time job. You always have to be willing to step up and die first, no matter if you feel like it or not.
There's a lot of selfish people that think that they're ready for the burden that comes with being married. Now, don't get us wrong, like, marriage is fun. It's a beautiful process. Getting to spend the rest of your life here on earth with the person that you love. Who wouldn't want to do that? But you gotta be real now. It's hard.
And a lot of times, in so many marriages, is the point of fixation on winning the battle. And when I say winning the battle, I mean as when they get into disagreements, they're so fixated on somebody being right that they're not even seeing that they're supposed to be fighting a war, not against each other, but with each other against the enemy. Because we know that the common enemy, which is Satan, and that he comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And the home is one of them.
That's the first place that Satan will attack. Like, if some of y'all have been married, y'all know that that warfare amped up after you got with your spouse or after y'all tied the knot. Whether it showed up through family, finances going down, so-called friends.
Any of those things possible. And that just really shows how important the foundation is. Because a lot of people's foundations was not Christ. So because it wasn't Christ is why it crumbled so easily. But they accredit to the divorce to everything else except that, when the scripture reminds us that we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
And we were even talking about this today, and we were going to make it a TikTok video, but just the flawed concept of physical attraction. A lot of people solely get married for the sake of, I find you attractive, and they just want to do the do. You got to be able to do more than just look at somebody.
To be honest, you should want to do more than just stare at somebody all day or just see them naked. I mean, come on, let's be honest now. You can only do it so many times out of the day before it gets to the point where it's like, come on. It's not beneficial. So that person needs to be somebody you can rely on, and that this person is going to challenge you to grow, that you will want to grow for the sake of this person.
Yeah, because there's no point in getting married if it's just simply for looks, because you can go outside and you can look at a bunch of people.
What she's saying is strictly true. If you just get married strictly for looks, then that's all you're going to be looking for.
Or
as soon as this person doesn't look the best anymore, or to your standard, you're going to be looking for the next best thing.
Because let's put it into perspective. Let's say your spouse gets into, God forbid, let's say they get into some kind of horrific accident, and now their appearance is altered for the rest of their lives here on earth. Are you going to leave your spouse, or are you going to stick it out with them?
Or even for you married couples, who've had children over the years, and we know that the women's body takes the time to recover, and most of them don't really
fully.
Right. Majority of the time, the men don't find their wives as attractive anymore, and they go looking for the next best thing instead of actually helping her, building her up, and encouraging her to create a healthier lifestyle. So these are the things that you constantly see within marriage, and majority are not willing to make the necessary sacrifices.
I even think of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane and how he was so burdened and how he felt so much pain and agony because he knew what he was about to do or was about to happen to him. He was going to be sacrificed for the sake of a bunch of people that didn't even love him back.
Even to reference one of her favorite books out of the Bible, Hosea.
My favorite book in the scriptures is Hosea. And one of the reasons for that is it really emphasizes the love of God for his children, or just people that don't even love him back. And I want to say that marriage, in a sense, is the same way. Not saying that your spouse doesn't love you back, but will you be able to love them when they're not doing things to your standard or even to God's standard?
Even to give an reason of why she loved that book so much, because in this situation, earlier early on in our marriage. She was Hosea and I was Gomer, just not really being as receptive of the love as she was giving, because of the things that I was dealing with, or better yet, had not dealt with.
No, he wasn't cheating now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, no.
I mean in regards to not really fully stepping into, his role as a leader.
Basically running from that responsibility and making every excuse possible. And God has used her to be Hosea in my life and really be the manifestation of his love for me. No matter the mistakes in which I would make and how upset I would make her, she never stopped loving me. The rebuke came, but it was only from a place of love.
Now, and also we want to emphasize that marriage it takes a lot of intentionality. It cannot be just one person putting in all the work to try to advance, your union forward.
But there are desired roles, particular roles that both parties are supposed to play. The husband being the leader and the wife being the one who submits, and the wise counsel.
Because if the roles are reversed and the man is acting as the woman and the woman is acting as the man, it's going to put a lot of stress, unnecessary stress on both parties.
I mean, better yet, look at the scriptures when we think of Jezebel and Ahab. And not even just Jezebel and Ahab, but what was the lady name that got her daughter to dance for King Herod? And she had tricked her daughter into saying that she want, because he had promised her half the kingdom, but her mother coerced her into saying that she wanted the head of John the Baptist on a silver platter.
I forgot her name, but
yeah,
you know the story.
Right, but even just showing like how if the men do not step up, these women, they abuse the power that comes with their husbands.
Because it was never supposed to be that way in the first place. Women do not know what to do with a certain level of power.
That was never meant for them. That's why it's important for the man to hold his authority, to take his mantle. Because naturally, if he doesn't, she will.
And when she does, it's going to be terrible for everybody involved.
And then that's why a majority of things end up happening within the home, because the men aren't stepping up, or they're so distracted doing other things that they're not even really taking up their mantle, as we've been saying. It's just been the wife, and she's had so much stress on herself, so now she's purely operating off of emotions. She's moving just off of how she feels. So every decision she's making is emotional. And we know when every decision you're making is emotional, there's bound to be cracks in it. Because logically speaking, that's why the scripture makes sure to go over, does a man not count the cost before going to war, or even before building a house? You have to count the cost. But if she's stuck in a situation where she's in constant fight or flight, she's not counting the cost. She's only making a decision for that moment and that moment alone.
Because the man won't step up. And as we were referencing earlier, just him being Hosea at one point. Oh no, me being Hosea and him being Gomer at one point. Just that feeling, just that pressure of me having to make certain decisions, because like we emphasized, not the importance of really stepping into your God-given roles. It literally will not work if you guys are not operating within your God-given role.
So that's why we're emphasizing this. And it's not to judge anybody. It's literally, it is to judge righteously and give the revelation which we have received to others, because especially for you younger people out there who are looking forward to getting married.
Itching to get married.
Yeah, for those of you who are very itching to get married. Matter of fact, for those of you who are itching to get married, understand that Satan comes as an agent, as an angel of light. And don't be so blinded that you don't even see what's really happening, because the scripture warns us about being unequally yoked.
So really, truly think before you do. Before you say I do, think.
Because that's it. We know how Abba feels about divorce in general, or at least we will hope. And Christ said if you do end up divorcing, then there's a possibility that, read the scriptures for yourself, but that you won't be able to marry again. And there are those of you who marry from a place of insecurity without kingdom in mind. All of this just ties into foundation and understanding that marriage is not a band-aid for your loneliness,
or your lust, or your pride, any of your issues.
If anything, marriage is the battleground in which these things will be exposed.
It's going to show you. Marriage, God uses marriage to show you who you truly are.
The little things about your partner that are so irritating, that's you.
It's just a mirror. Marriage is a mirror.
And for men out there, because I can only speak from the perspective of men, you have to understand that the flaws and the things that you see in your wife that you do not like are your fault. Stop complaining about it and stop telling her that she needs to change, and be the one to step up and show her the proper way to change. We don't just tell somebody, no, we do it by our works as well. That's why the scripture says faith without works is dead. And that's why the scripture also says that the kingdom of heaven is not just talk, but it's a power as well. So you have to show powerfully that you have to be the one to die first in order to show her and help cultivate security within her.
A lot of men want to be washed and they want to be presented to the Father spotless and without blemish, not understanding that it's supposed to be the other way around. Husbands, you are supposed to be washing your wives. You are supposed to present her to the Father without blemish.
And majority of the times, you're the one staining her. You're the one, whether it's through reactive abuse, whether it's through just not listening to what she's saying and creating an unsafe environment for her.
Being prideful.
Right. So you have to understand that the scripture says pride goes before.
Fall.
So it has to be a level of self-reflecting. Marriage is what we said earlier. It's a mirror. Stop trying to only see somebody else and actually hold that mirror up to yourself. Jesus even said in the scriptures himself, do not be so fixated on the splinter in your brother's eye, but actually look at the log that's in yours. And once you can remove the log out of your own eye, then you can help your brother
see clearly to point out the splinter in your brother's eye.
We don't do this stuff from a place of lordship or to gloat or any of those things. We're not pointing out issues to exalt ourselves, but we should only be doing it from a place of love. So you really have to check your heart posture. And we're not saying any of this is easy, but that's why we made sure to really add in there that it takes intentionality. You have to be intentional every single day. And communication is the best way to be intentional.
So with that being said, we hope this video was a blessing to whoever may come across it, and expect more from us on here.
Peace.